Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back for another iRant, and again, it's about Nintendo. You see, I was just watching a video from Ant Dude Plus, and he was talking about the game key cards. Now, he finally did. He was actually someone who actually mentioned the fact that Nintendo had variety of card of. I'll get to it in a minute. I'll get to it in a minute, but I'm finally going to put in my 2 cents on this whole thing. All right. All right. So, when the Switch 2 released, some of the games were going to be on key cards. Essentially, they were cartridges that had so little data on it, pretty much they check either if you had the game installed or if you don't have the game um they were cartridges that checked if the game was installed or if it's on the or yeah, if it's installed or if it's on or not, tripping over my own words right now, and then it would download it. The only other thing it does is that it checks if this is the right. It pretty much just talks to the game in order to make sure you have a cartridge in there. With that said, um, hmm, my problem with it, my problem with it is not just the fact that you no longer have a game on. Now, I understand that this is a good idea, so that way you can try and resell your game. My problem with it is that you're putting the game pretty much in control of Nintendo entirely. That was one problem, but my bigger problem is the fact that now the and this is something that Ant Dude Plus mentioned. Um, the cartridges for Switch 2 come in three flavors: a premium 64 gigabyte cartridge, the game key cards, or a coded box digital. Now, now, just to give you guys some information, they have companies do have to pay to have those cartridges manufactured, to have them manufactured, to have their have the cartridges done, the casings done, all of that. And let's just assume a quick Google search states that a 64 gigabyte SD card for your cameras and other devices, the manufacturing cost for just that alone, just for that piece of plastic in that electronic that chip in a piece of plastic case, piece of plastic body, it's $7. I'm betting for a video game, the manufacturing cost for and that's not even counting the manufacturing cost of the packaging, okay? Which I'm betting that is going to increase it more. And I also would not doubt that there are also bulk discounts for manufacturing in large quantities. Nintendo used to have a variety of file sizes for their cartridges. And now they've dropped it down to a single 64 gigabyte. Okay? Okay? Now, as a manufacturer, let's just take something simple like one of my favorite games, Hades. Hades. I think on Steam the install size is like 7 gigs. Do you really want to pay $7 each in order to put that on a 64 gigabyte cartridge? No. And Nintendo knows it. You see, here's something that Nintendo makes a good chunk of change from manufacturing. That's the reason why they stuck with CDs whenever on the why they stuck with cartridges back on the N64. Why they were dragged kicking and screaming to get a regular full-size CD for the Wii. Remember, they didn't do that for the GameCube. They had that mini CD, that mini disc. But they make their money. They make a good chunk of change from manufacturing cost. Okay, I want that to be known. So yeah, and it's also the reason why Nintendo and Sony broke up back in the 90s. It's the reason why we don't have the Nintendo PlayStation, the Nintendo SNES CD, is because Nintendo was going to be making anything off those things in manufacturing cost, not even on their own games. So, yeah, that's where a good chunk of their change comes from. So Nintendo was offering a variety of cartridge sizes, but now they've dropped it down to just a handful of options. To a premium cartridge size, this probably easier, cheaper to make, definitely cheaper to make key card, and then the digital version. Yeah, I know physical media, like I know cartridges are a lot more, cost a lot more to produce, because it's not just a disc, paint a disc with ink on it. It's an actual piece of plastic. I work in plastic manufacturing. I know that there is a cost associated with making things like that. And like I said, that's not even counting the cases, okay? That's not even counting the cases. The cases could be done very differently. But my point is, Nintendo knows that the 64 gigabyte cartridge is a premium. That's why they're offering no other options. So the game key card was their best middle ground. And I see it about as good of a middle ground as the Nintendo YouTube Creator Program. Something that started up, I think, in like 2010, 2012, and then got discontinued quietly in 2017. When that's its own story. My point is, I already do not like Nintendo right now. After everything they did last year, I saw the Switch 2 launch as I didn't like it. I don't like the fact that you have to have upgrade codes for just the Nintendo games. They want to charge you an extra $20 in order to upgrade it, while other games don't need that. Like even Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did not need a $20 upgrade. The problem is that this was their way of strong-arming developers. If you want to publish on the Switch and you want it physical, either you got to pay the premium, or you've got to pay the expensive premium, or you've got to do the key card. That's it. That's why I find it disgusting. Because Nintendo did this intentionally, knowing this. At the end of the day, Nintendo is still a business. But when it comes to game companies, they're pretty bad. And I wouldn't doubt they're even worse than Activision Blizzard. But less of their stuff gets publicized. I'm Cyber Angel. I fucking hate game key cards, both as a consumer and as an aspiring developer.